Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. You know what I always say, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Well, my name is Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we have the great privilege and the honor and the assigned task to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the whole wide world. Well, I want to welcome you to this platform acknowledged as Project 365. And we're so glad to have you here with us today. And let's welcome our co-host in.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kara Swan. I am so happy to be here today. We have a great guest in store for you. And before we get started, I just want to ask everyone to also go to our YouTube page and like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you know whenever we make a post. Your participation, helps us with our mission and our goals. So we just ask if you could do that for us.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And we're going to thank everyone in advance because you are a part of our team that helps us to take the message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration around the world. And we're just so grateful to God that He's allowed us to do that. Well, today we have a great person that's going to share with us today. And this is in the person of Mr. Munir Bahar. And Munir, if I didn't pronounce that right, you do it. You do the justice to it. But I tell you what, this young man is well known in the Baltimore area and abroad. But his main activity, or shall I say, what's in his DNA, is that he loves young men, young people, period. And he's going to tell you about what he does in the community, how he supports the young people, the voice that he has, not just in the community, but in not politics, what you want to call it. Many of the officials in the Baltimore City area, he's got his voice in the news, he's got his voice in the street, he's got his voice in the community, and much of it is for our young people. And I'm so glad we have an advocate and we have an activist who's going to speak up for our young people. And Munir, on that note, and whatever I said that may not be correct, this is your opportunity to correct it. But I tell you what, you have been a blessing to me in my business. And this was years ago. And matter of fact, audience, before we went live, I asked Munir, how old are you? I'm not going to tell you how old he said. I'm like, wait a minute, you got to be a little joke in there. But he just seems the same. He looks, to me, he looks pretty much the same. But I am so grateful that over the years, we didn't burn bridges. And that's one thing we have to learn to do. Keep connected. Remain connected, because years ago, he was a great guy then. And even today, he's a great guy. And I'm just thankful for that relationship. Munir, you got it.
Thank you. And look, as I am trying to keep my composure, my little one here is just dying for attention.
Hi.
And she and all children are my responsibility. I feel as a human being on this earth, I am responsible for the well-being, for the development of young people. It's just what I have to do. I don't really have a choice. It's what I have to do. And over the years, that has evolved into fighting the issues, or fighting for, or fighting to raise awareness about the issues that are destroying our young people, that innocently are forced to navigate through a lot of these adult driven issues that are going on, that result in poverty, that result in crime, that result in violence. It is not the children's fault that they have to deal with the effects of poverty, that they have to navigate through violent environments. It's not their fault, and it's not fair that they're expected to thrive or survive in these environments without the proper guidance. So what I've been doing for the past 19 years is helping young people to navigate through this twisted world that we live in, and to help them see the real world and not gravitate towards the illusions that are marketed to them through mainstream media, through the commercialization of everything from religion to politics. I'm trying to help young people see the real truth of life as it relates to what they have to do within themselves internally, as well as what they have to do externally within their communities. And it's just something that I'm most passionate about. I've pledged my life to it. There's nothing else that I'll be doing as long as I'm breathing. And it's just an honor and a blessing to be on the force that is helping to evolve humanity, especially our young people. Because as a young person, I was caught up in the streets. Miss Portia, I was that juvenile that was in and out of jail. I was put out of every grade from seventh grade to all through high school. Seventh grade, eighth grade, I was expelled. Ninth grade, I was expelled and kicked out of the entire Baltimore County. 11th grade, I was locked up. So I went through a lot of challenges as a juvenile. And so when I started my organization, I was 20 years old. It was based on my experiences, but it was based on a commitment to help some other young people who had to navigate through those same experiences. You just have to wait, okay? So that's that
That's okay.
that's my ministry, it's my life, it's my calling, it's my purpose, it's everything. Again, not only with my children, but the children of the community who I really have a heart for young boys that don't have fathers, because that was my situation. So yeah, I've worked with young boys for 19 years mostly, um, and I would say the majority of them, well over 80% of them, did not have active fathers in their lives. I don't feel we can move forward as a community without fatherhood established without children.
Wow. I tell you what, tell me a little bit about how you pull the young people in. So they're kids in your neighborhood, are they not? Or around it?
So I've worked with children citywide. So having an organization that is known, parents have throughout the years gravitated towards us. We've always been pretty public about our work. And so for a long time, when we were running a citywide operation, we were an outlet for parents around the city to bring their children to us. They would register their children, take them through that sort of process. Now, my focus is a neighborhood focus. So the neighborhood I live in East Baltimore, the Biddle Street neighborhood, 21213, I'm only working with the children who literally live within this neighborhood, within a 5 or 6 block radius all around. And I've developed relationships with those children. I've been in this neighborhood for 15 years. So it's a very organic process. Uh, Everybody knows who I am. They know, about CORE. They know what we do. And so those young people gravitate towards our organization because of what we do, because we employ them for work, for different, sporadic work, whether it's cleaning or whether it's construction. We feed the children. We engage the children in physical activity. We take them bike riding. We train them. So we do a lot of different things. And so they gravitate towards us because they know that we are an oasis in their neighborhood. And when they want something different from the surrounding culture, which is the drug culture, then they come towards us. Um, it's a lifelong commitment. It's not like it's a 1 year or 2 year thing. It's the culture. I'm creating a new culture within an existing drug culture. I'm creating a new positive culture to give these young people a different alternative.
Now tell me what a core is and what it represents, the acronym represents.
Course has two meanings. The individual meaning is committed, organized, responsible. Those are three virtues that I feel are necessary for an individual to not only transform themselves, but to transform their community. So committed, organized, responsible. On an organizational level, CORE stands for community organized response. And when we're activated at that level as a group, we're responding to different community issues, such as the Freddie Gray unrest in 2015, we activated then, as well as last year, 2020, during the a lot of the unrest around the country and what was happening here in Baltimore after the George Floyd murder, then we were activated as well too. So CORE has an individual meaning as well as a community meaning. That's important.
Good, good, good. I know I've heard much of what you've done, but we've been had a not necessarily a disconnect, but I haven't seen you in a minute. And then, of course, I always see you either in a newspaper, a magazine, and you're just on the news. Well, you're always on the news for something positive for our young people, and I really appreciate that, because many of the seniors that live in the Baltimore area, just seniors in general, they not necessarily but we don't always want to interact with young people because sometimes they have too much energy. But there is a way that we can still support the young people by, we know you, and I've told our audience over and over that anyone that I bring to this platform of Project 365, if they would just trust me, it would be someone who they can trust, because I trust them and I trust the work that you've done because I've seen it. Now, on that note, I saw on the video, either on the video or a Facebook video you did, but it was somewhere where you employ young people while you can. I mean, I don't know whether you have a grant or what, but I'm not even talking about grants right now, but you employ people, young people, $12.50 an hour, $12.50 an hour.
Yes. So we have a program called Baltimore Clean Streets. So last year during the pandemic, the city suspended street cleaning operations. So trash was just piling up in our streets, on our curbs and sidewalks. So so we started Baltimore Clean Streets, and I got the kids in my neighborhood and said, we're gonna clean up our own neighborhood. And with now 34 weeks into it, first I started paying them $8 an hour. Then I started giving them $10 an hour. Then I started giving them $12.50, because they are literally cleaning up the filth of the community. And that's, you can't really put a price on that. All the money is donated from contributors online. I don't operate with grants. Really don't put a whole lot of time into grants. I love the fact that my organization is primarily funded through contributions from people, because it's showing the economic power of a community and not the reliance on some big foundation grant or whatever. And I mean, we do get some corporate support, but I like being a community economic vessel for people to donate their money and to see it make real-time change right away. That's a part of my ministry as well too, in terms of business and nonprofit entrepreneurship, and just creating a different pathway where our money can be spent on the most tangible, productive, and results-driven efforts that gives everybody that sense of satisfaction of what they're investing in. And that's how we primarily fund our entire operation. So the Clean Streets operation, I'm blessed that people have been donating and that we've been able to employ our kids. Now, it's only a few hours a week, but it's something. And they love it. They look forward to it. I work with some of the poorest children in East Baltimore. So that $25, $30, $40 means a lot to them. And again, they treat it like a real job. They literally, like if it's cold or something and we're not out, sometimes, they'll get on me for not, working or whatever. They really look forward to their work. And there are a few other groups that are doing it. I modeled that off of someone else who started the program, and I just used his model. He's a good friend of mine. The name of his organization, Shiva, is my father's plan, and he was the inspiration behind our project. So, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Someone was already doing it successfully. He's a good friend of mine. I actually helped him to start his nonprofit. And then I said, wow, I would love to do this in my own neighborhood. And we started it. So it's all about involving young people in the development of their neighborhood. This is what I'm teaching. I'm not teaching them to wait around for someone else to come in the neighborhood and do anything. No, we have to do what we can do with the pennies that we have. We're going to get up and do something. What we will not do is sit on our ASS complain and wait for somebody to come in our neighborhood and clean it up when we are physically and mentally capable of doing so.
All right, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. So, on the behalf of Trophy of Life and my board of directors, we're going to donate $200 to your organization to actually help those young people to be responsible, just what you're doing. So we're going to make sure you get that money and keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate you sowing into. We sow into you. You sow into the young people.
Right.
They
Right.
feel even cleaning up trash. It gives them a sense of responsibility.
Yes.
So, and we're all about hope, encouragement, and inspiration. So I appreciate you and what you're doing for the young people. Even though I may not be able to touch them directly, I can touch them indirectly through you. So you let me know how we can donate. Do you have a Cash App that you want to put in so that those that are watching may be able to donate to your organization?
Yeah, all we have is our donation portal on our website, and we keep it there for accounting purposes. All the donations flow through our website, which is corecommunity.com, corcommunity.com. At the bottom, there's a donation link. On the bottom of every page has our tax ID number, all of our corporate information. So that's the way that we prefer, people to make donations. Some people send checks in the mail. Again, our information is at the bottom of each page.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all accountable, long as it's all accountable.
Yes.
You're accounted for. That is a good thing. And I'm thinking even some of the young people who have died to the streets, if parents who are listening or watching want to donate in honor of them, that's a great idea. That's a great idea to invest in another young man that you have that you may be responsible for, that they will not be lost to the streets. So again, parents, you may have lost a child to violence or whatever on the street or whatever reason, but I share with you that Munir's organization is a great organization to sow into. So just to let you know, we're going to make sure you receive our donation, and it's been a blessing and continue to do that. Well, Takira is going to come with some closing statements.
Well, one, like I always say, I just want to thank you for coming on the show today. I really admire and appreciate you and your organization. And you've said quite a few things that really stuck with me for this broadcast, and some things that I really stuck to. And one of the things I really appreciate out of everything that you do is how you are focused on your neighborhood. I think a lot of times we have some organizations, especially in Baltimore, who are, nonprofits, and they have such great intentions and such great mission statements and visions, but they spread themselves too thin. So kind of, the impact they want to make is not as successful as they want it to. And one thing I like about your organization and you is that since you're focusing your organization and what you're doing primarily like in a certain area, it not only has a greater impact, but you're also encouraging other people to do the same thing in their area. And sometimes I feel like that's more effective. Just how you said, you had a friend who had already, you didn't reinvent the wheel. You kind of modeled some of your things after one of your friends. That's one of the great things you can do in entrepreneurship and in business. You collaborate, you feed off each other, you grow off of each other. And now you are making such an impact in your area. And I just want to encourage anyone that's listening to do the same for your area. Link up with people who are already doing something impactful and successful that you want to do, especially for our youth. And that's another reason why I just appreciate your organization, because we're always like, we got to focus on the youth, but it's so important, because if you don't, you just perpetuate in a continuous cycle of, okay, we're just going to keep doing the same things we've been doing, and nothing really gets accomplished as much as people want it to. So I really appreciate that. And I really like your Baltimore Clean Streets that you're doing. Some people think, man, it's just so much to tackle, in our neighborhood. Something as simple as cleaning it up and giving, the residents there and the youth there a sense of pride of not only having responsibility, but look at what I've done, the hard work I can show for it, and just taking a sense of pride of where they live. And I feel like a lot of times in Baltimore City, people aren't sometimes proud of where they are or where they're from. And it's like, no, like, you are a jewel, you're amazing, you're great, and where you're from is fine, it's perfect, and you take pride in your city and where you live. And I just really appreciate that. And another thing, my last point, I really liked what you said about the economic power of a community. One thing I've learned just in life is people make time and money for what they want to do, So you say, oh, we don't have enough money to do that. Yes, we do. Because if you can afford to get something you want, you can afford to take just a little bit of money and invest into your community, into organizations like the one we're showing here, into your youth, and just a little bit of time and money can make such a big impact if we just all do it together. And I just really want our viewers to, especially in the Black community, to realize that we really do have so much economic power. We just have to use it. So thank you so much. That's all I have to say today. I really appreciate it.
If I could just add to that, I think I would say, I think we in our community, especially the African American community, we gotta understand, and I know this is, Miss Portia's platform all day, and would appreciate this. We gotta understand. I think we've forgotten that God is in control, not Wall Street, not the dollar.
That's right.
So we don't have to measure ourselves by the dollar, or we don't have to measure our capacity by the dollar. Our capacity is allowed by God. What we can or can't do is allowed by God. And so if we keep our attention on that, then we'll start to understand through obedience that we can achieve so much regardless of the bank account. Because through God, all things are, and I'm not no religious guy, but I know the power of God, because I know what has transformed in my community, what we've been able to do, building the first health facility, building the martial arts dojo, has only been allowed because God allowed it, because we didn't have much money. So, I tell people it's not, we need some money, but we don't need gazillions of dollars. What we need is more obedience and worship of God properly. And then through that, things will happen. People call them miracles, but they're not miracles. It's just the wonders of God that happen.
That's
wonderful. I love it.
Yes, yes. Well, Munir, we're going to put you in contact with on June 5th, Saturday, June 5th, our church, Kingdom Worship Center, 6419 York Road, is going to have a community day. We've had it several times, and of course, last year we could not have it, but we're having it again this year. I'm going to put you in contact with Marie Mouzon. She's the lead person for that community day, and is where, again, the community comes together. We have so many different types of businesses and community organizations represented. So we want to have Core, Core Health Institute.
Yes.
Well, as long as we get in contact with you, we'll have what we need. We'll get whatever we need. And again, give us your website so that those that are watching, doesn't matter where you're watching from across the country, you can go to this website and donate. What is that again?
Core, COR community.com. CORcommunity.com.
All right. All right. And if you don't want to do it there, your girl will take it. We are a 501c3 organization, tax deductible. I know you're nonprofit, or you're 501c3 as well, Munir.
Yes, we are.
There you
19
go.
years.
Well, you don't even have to have me. Go straight to him, because I think many people want to know that their dollars are being strategically used for the purpose for which they donated. So on that note, you have his website, you have his information, and I pray that you will join the team and donate to what is needed and necessary for our young people. And again, I want to thank you for not saying no and still saying yes in spite of daddy duty. You told me that at the very beginning, and you said they were wonderful kids. They behave wonderfully. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it, and your beautiful children. Oh yeah, yeah. Do they know karate? Because I know.
Yeah, the 4-year-old is learning now. Yeah.
Now, are you taking students in, or how does that work? Because you have a karate
studio. Yeah, I just work with the kids in the neighborhood. When the school gets back established, our after-school program will resume. We had about 23 boys before COVID, 4th through 6th graders. So we're just, trying to get that back going once, the school situation is sorted out.
Okay. All right. We pray God's blessings upon you and your endeavors and your family. All right.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, men, boys, and girls, we shall see you on tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye. Miss Portia. Yeah, that's close enough. See you later.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.